everyone, welcome back to my channel. First off, I just want to say thank you so much. Over the past weekend, I hit 500 subscribers here on YouTube, and that is just like so cool to me. I am so thankful for each and every one of you. I appreciate that you like my videos and want to see more. That means a lot to me, and just all the comments you guys leave me is just so cool, and I love it. So yeah, thank you so much. I am pretty stoked about that. Today I have a different video again. I kind of want to switch it up on my channel here. And I have a review on a new product. It's the Tartelette Palette. I'm also going to kind of do a first impression as well as swatches, and I also have a makeup tutorial using it. So here it is here. It's a purple palette, and it has like kind of gold holographic, which is really pretty. I like how the front isn't shiny, because on the back it's pretty shiny and you see every little fingerprint, and I don't know, it's kind of gross and ugly. But the front is really cute, and that's all that matters. It's a very sturdy, durable palette. It's got a nice clasp, so it closes tightly. You don't have to worry about it opening up like the Naked palettes and getting shadow everywhere. Comes with a really good size mirror, which is cool, and then also it stands straight up. So if you're like doing your makeup, it's not gonna fall down, it's gonna stay up, and you're good to go. So it's a great palette to travel with. You get a lot of neutral colors. Every shade in here is a matte shadow, so there's no shimmer, no sparkle, none of that. But I mean, that's what your other shadows are for too. You just need kind of a couple of those, and then this is a pretty good staple palette, I must say. So you get 3 rows, and they kind of like, I guess they want to group them so each kind of row goes together. I broke the rules a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. I was dipping in wherever I felt like for my tutorial. Okay, so you get kind of your neutral, like warmer browns up here. The next row is more of a mauve kind of cool tone purple shade, which looks good on a lot of different skin tones. And then you have your more cool tones, like smokier, down here. So this palette has 12 never before seen shadows, so all of these shadows are exclusive to this palette. I mean, there is a black one in here called Fashionista, and I feel like you can't tell me you've never seen a matte black Tarte shadow, but we'll look past that because every palette I feel has to have a black shadow. So there's 12 matte shades. They are infused with Amazonian clay, and they also contain vitamin E. Tarte has really good ingredients. That's why I love them as a brand. Just personally, I think that they're a great company. The palette is also cruelty-free. This one, however, is not vegan. A lot of Tarte's products are vegan as well, but this one is not. I love the packaging, so I would say A+ on that. The shadows blend really well. The only one I had a hard time with was Best Friend, so this darker color, and I love that color. That color is so pretty. Kind of looks like Blackberry from MAC, but maybe a little bit darker. So other than that, that was the only one I had a problem with. I just had to kind of dip in a little bit more, but so no big deal at all. So the palette retails for $53 in Canada or $44 in the US. You can buy it at Sephora, Ulta, or on TarteCosmetics.com. I'm not sure about the other major department stores, but you can definitely get it at those other stores. So I feel like that's where most of us girls shop anyway. For our makeup, if you want to see swatches, then please keep watching, and my tutorial on this look that I'm wearing right now featuring this palette will be right after that. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye! Hey guys, so I'm just going to jump right on into the tutorial. I have already done my foundation, and I'm wearing the Smashbox Studio Skin Foundation in the shade 1.2, as well as my brows, and that is the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Dark Brown, just to save a little bit of time. Going in with my Morphe S27 Vegan Blending Brush, I'm going to dip that in the color Force of Nature from the palette. And this is going to serve as our transition color. This is going to ensure everything is nice and blended and there are no harsh lines, and we are just going to buff that into our upper crease. The next shade I'm going in with is the color Natural Beauty, and this is in the next row of colors. It's more of a mauve-y, kind of purpley shade. And I'm using my Sigma E25 blending brush. I love this blending brush. You can get in the crease really nicely. If you need one brush for your eyes, I would say this is the one to get. It's also very, very, very close, pretty much identical to the MAC 217. Okay, so honestly, I'm gonna go in with the shade Free Spirit from the palette. I found it was way, way, way too yellow on my lid. You can't really tell on camera, but in real life, I was looking in the mirror and I was like, oh no. So I switched over to the color Super Mom, and I'm using my Real Techniques shading brush. I could totally do without this Free Spirit shade in the palette, honestly. If you're a little bit more medium skin tone to darker skin tone, it'd probably be great, but for me, it just did not work out. And this is where I am fixing my little mistake, so I'm just going to pack that directly over top, nothing special, just pressing motions to really get that color concentrated on the lid. Back to my Morphe S27 blending brush, the one from the transition color. No additional product, I'm just going to wash that back and forth in my crease to diffuse any harsh lines. Moving back to my Sigma E25, I'm picking up the shade Best Friend from the palette. This color, I was a little disappointed with the pigmentation of it. I had to build it up, I would say 4 or 5 times, like keep going over, dipping back in, keep going over again for the color to really show up. So that was kind of disappointing, but nonetheless, it is a beautiful shade and I was still happy with how it eventually turned out. Just took a few tries, that's all. So I really wanted to keep this kind of in real speed, how you could see how I literally just had to keep building it up. It took quite a bit, but I was happy with the outcome. I'm keeping it really low in the socket and then also focusing on my outer corner with it. Now that we are done with that color, finally, we are going in with the shade Bombshell. This is a very deep purple. It's kind of like a blackened plum, I would describe it. It's a really pretty color. We are going to focus that on the outer V, and I'm using my Morphe S12 vegan blending brush. I love these vegan blending brushes. I actually just picked up a bunch more today. It's probably my favorite brush in the whole line from Morphe. Before we finish up with our shadow, I'm just going to go over one last time with my blending brush to ensure everything looks nice and smooth and blended. Here I'm doing a little victory dance, so I would say that's a good sign, right? I am going to move along and highlight underneath my eye area and between my eyebrows, my chin, and above my upper lip with my MAC Prolongwear concealer. I'm just going to dot that with my ring finger and then blend it out with a damp beauty blender. That's my favorite way to do it because the damp beauty blender really absorbs any extra product and doesn't leave it on your face. I'm just dampening it a little bit more with some MAC Fix Plus. You can use water, that's what I always do. Mine was just a little bit drier from the time I put my foundation on, so I just wanted to re-dampen it just a little bit. To set my concealer so it doesn't crease, I'm using the MAC Shaping Powder in the shade Emphasize. It's just like a white powder with a little bit of a sheen to it, so it does highlight a little bit. I'm just going over those areas with my Real Techniques setting brush. This is an awesome brush for a highlight or setting any makeup in small areas because it really gets in those little areas nicely. Going back to our eyes, I'm just picking up my Sigma E15 flat definer and I'm just running the color Best Friend along my lash line. To make everything look a little bit more blended, I'm just going in with another lighter color, and this is the color Natural Beauty again. And my Morphe S20 pencil brush, I'm just going to kind of blend out the darker shade into that shade so it looks a little bit more gradient and smoky. Surprise, surprise, I know I am doing a cat eye winged liner, and I'm using the Inglot Gel Liner in number 77 and my Makeup Geek Bent Liner brush. Again, holy grail, can't live without these products when achieving a cat eye. I'm going to speed through it just because I do have a video dedicated to winged liner. I will leave it down below in the bottom bar if you haven't seen it and you want to learn kind of how I do it. I do it in like 3 steps and I find it's the easiest way, so I hope it helps you too. I'm just going to tightline and line my waterline with my Smolder Eye Kohl by MAC Cosmetics. Remember, it's totally okay if you're a little bit messy with your waterline. I actually prefer to be because then I can smoke it out a little bit further, which is what I'm doing right now with my pencil brush and just running that back and forth. For mascara, I'm sticking with the whole Tarte theme and I'm using my Lights Camera Lashes Mascara. I love this formula. It's drier so you can really build up that volume. For lashes, I'm going to be using the new Balm Mink lashes. They are cruelty-free and based out of LA. All the lashes are handmade. I'm going to apply the glue, and it is important to wait 30 to 60 seconds for the glue to get tacky. That way it makes for an easier application, otherwise it might slip and slide all over the place. If you do want to see a more in-depth video on lashes, let me know in the comments below and I will totally do that for you. And the style I'm wearing are Singapore Mink. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. They're a beautiful style. If you watch my videos, then you totally know I like to contour and warm up the skin with a pressed powder that is several shades darker from my skin tone. If you have a hard time finding a powder that works for contouring for you, try doing that. I wear the shade Medium Deep, and I am just blending it out now with my Real Techniques blush brush. To warm up the skin a little bit more, I am going to dust over my cheekbones MAC Cosmetics Golden Bronzer. The blush I'm using is a nice soft Dolly Pink color. It's in the shade Memorable by Tarte, and it is one of the 12-hour Amazonian clay blushes. These blushes don't move and last so long on the skin, so I highly recommend them if you haven't tried them already. To add a little bit more glow and highlight to the skin, because girl, you know I like to glow, I'm going in with my Mary Lou Manizer by the Balm and tapping that along my upper cheekbones, down the bridge of my nose, on my cupid's bow and chin. Before we finish off the look, I'm just going to highlight my brow bone using the shade Supermom from the palette and my Sigma F70 brush. This is just going to make the brow look a little bit more lifted and everything look a little bit more blended. Alright guys, so here's the final look. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you like these review videos, let me know in the comments below and I will do more for you. I do recommend the palette, so if you are thinking about getting it, definitely pick it up while you can. I heard it is one of 4, so that's pretty cool. Thank you so much for watching and please subscribe. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye! I forgot to turn my music off. And I've been sitting here talking for like 2 minutes, so that's great. So let's turn that off and we will try again. I'm so thirsty. Apple juice, apple juice. That's what they